Welcome to the special meeting, the March 14th meeting of the Binghamton Urban Renewal Agency. First order of business is approval of the minutes from the January 10th regular meeting. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
New business review, the 2022 audited financial report. And I believe we have a presenter from Bonadio for this. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, Jacob, the floor is yours.
All right. Thanks, everyone. I'm Jacob Skevel with the Bonadio Group. I am the principal responsible for signing your audit. So what we're talking about today is the 2022 audited financial statements. So we had 3 issued documents. We'll start with the financial statements themselves here. On page 1 of the statements, you'll see the auditor's report. The auditor's report is what we provide as a result of the audit. You'll see right in the beginning of it, our opinion on the audit. You'll see we issued an unmodified opinion. That's the highest level of assurance that we can provide on the financial statements. So that's your goal each year to see from that report is that unmodified opinion. Also in that report, we outlay the responsibilities of management and then us as your auditor for the financial statements. Management is responsible for the financial statements themselves and the presentation of everything in those statements. Our responsibility as your external auditor is to provide that opinion on the financial statements. We perform a risk assessment and then design and perform procedures to respond to the risks in the audit. Also in the financial statements throughout, you'll see the activity for the year. Not a whole lot to highlight this year. Primarily, operations continue to relate to contributions from the city and then ongoing stadium maintenance related to the stadium. We did have to consider for this year, there was a new accounting standard issued by GASB related to leases. We reviewed the agreement related to the stadium and worked with Chuck on that of all the considerations we needed to. That agreement, which we mentioned in the footnotes, it did not meet the requirements to be defined as a lease under that new accounting standard. So the standard was considered, but ultimately it did not end up having an impact on your financial statements. At the end of the statements over on page 15, you will see our other report we include. This report is our report on internal control over financial reporting required by government auditing standards. In here, we outline that we consider internal controls of the agency as part of our audit. We don't express an opinion on the functioning of those internal controls, but if deficiencies that amounted to material weaknesses or significant deficiencies were identified in the audit, we would communicate those to you here. Again, good news for the audit, we did not identify any such deficiencies for communication. Any questions on that document or anything included in the financial statements? All right. If none, I will turn over to our required communications letter. That's a document you'll see in big capital letters, significant audit findings, kind of halfway down the page. This required communications letter is a required part of all of our audits for us to communicate to governance. In here, we outline essentially how the audit went from a performance standpoint. We would communicate anything such as disagreements with management, difficulties performing the audit, and any audit adjustments that were made. This year, there were no such issues, so nothing of significance to communicate here. And basically, the letter goes through and states that we didn't have any difficulties, no disagreements, no audit adjustments were recorded as part of the audit. Lastly, we have another letter as it relates to public authorities law. That letter just lays out the understanding that public authorities law does have requirements related to any investments that any public authorities may obtain. And the real conclusion here for the 2022 year is at this point in time, BURA does not have any investments that would fall under the requirements of that public authority law section. So at this point in time, nothing further to consider there, but we like to bring attention to that. So it's always aware that in the event that you do ever obtain investments that are subject to that law, that you consider those requirements. Any questions on any of that? All right, if not, that's all I have. Thanks to Chuck as always for helping us work through this and providing everything we need to get this done timely. And the audit will be required to be uploaded to Paris by the end of March to meet your requirement for that submission.
Jacob, real quick,
Yep.
one of the council representatives just came in. Can you just go over right at the top, you mentioned an unmodified opinion? Can you just
Yep.
repeat that again? Just so.
Yep, so the big highlights on the statements themselves, we issued an unmodified opinion, which is the highest level of assurance we can provide. So that's what you're looking to see each year. And then in relation to our report on the internal controls over financial reporting, we did not identify anything for communication as far as deficiencies in internal control that we consider to be material weaknesses or significant deficiencies. So essentially, highest level of assurance on the statements and no findings to communicate.
Any questions from any board members? Not seeing any, I'll entertain a motion to approve the 2022 audited financial report.
Motion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
You opposed? Motion carries. Jacob, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Next on business is review of authority mission statement and performance measurements. This is something that we have to file annually. Is that correct, Joel?
Correct,
The
yes, yeah.
Authority Budget Office of the State of New York. Included on here is a summary of the management and mission statement of BURA. Everyone wants to give that a quick read. Any questions? Do we have a motion to approve the authority mission statement and performance measures?
Motion.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Do we have any add-ons? All right, with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Our next regular meeting is scheduled for April 11th. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
You're adjourned.